What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT, That's Real Man Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Today, we want to talk about a wolf in sheep clothing. A wolf in sheep clothing. And the first thing come to mind when you think about a wolf in sheep clothing is people. Fake friends, false prophets, people that smile in your face and try to stab you in your back. Yes, backstabbers, they smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place, them backstabbers. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about today. Not only the obvious about people, but I want to dig a little deeper. Yeah, I want to talk about not only people, but circumstances, situations, opportunities, habits that might be disguised one way and we think that it's innocent, but at the same time, it's something that can be detrimental to our life. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right here, the Bible warns us, Matthew 7:15, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. So right here, Jesus is letting us know that we need to practice discernment with people and situations at all times. That's one thing that we need to learn. And don't let me say, you heard I said us and not you, not me, but us. That's including myself within the situation, that it's an ongoing process to learn this. And just looking deeper than the surface, I got right here about not being fooled by appearances, but everything that looks good is not good. Everything that feels good is not safe, and every open door is not from God. See, the sheep is represent safeness. It represents something that's pure. It represents innocence, provisions. And then we look at the wolf side, right? It represents destruction, danger, loss. Just within this instance that we're talking about today. But if a wolf came looking like a wolf, you'll know exactly what to look for because you can see them. You can identify them by what? By just how they look. So that's why it wears the sheep clothing. Ha ha. That's why temptations don't come looking ugly. Temptations comes dressed up like the things that you desire. It come dressed up, it come packaged up well, like a package that you get for Christmas, a present that you get for Christmas. It looks good, but on the inside, ugh. And sometimes we fall prey to the initial look instead of doing a little bit more research and using a little bit more discernment to see exactly how we want to approach this person or this situation. And that's why trouble don't announce itself. Sometimes it slides in quietly, smiling, looking harmless, while plotting to get you from the inside out. See, the only thing that we're thinking about is the pleasure behind it and not necessarily the consequences. So before we get into the circumstances, let's talk about the obvious, the people, right? Everybody know the wolf in sheep clothing. We know about that, right? That's the obvious part. Because we both know that everybody rooting for you is not necessarily clapping for you. Some people will pat you on the back with one hand and holding a knife in the other hand. Y'all know how it is. All of us have been through it. And sometimes the wolves we call brother, we call friend, we call family, we call friends, family, cousins. That's what we call them. But the wolves are known by the fruit that they bear. And see, let's go right here. It says Matthew 7:16, by their fruit you will recognize them. It's not about what they say, it's about what they do over time. See, you never heard somebody got a good mouthpiece on them. If it's a preacher or somebody that's a great orator, and they're able to speak in such a way to inspire you. Maybe want you to buy this program, buy this course, even give your money to the church, or just want you to donate. They just have a way of influencing you to be able to do certain things that they want you to do. Now, you can tell the people that's truly in their heart. You'll see by their works, by their fruit, what they have been doing. And you can be like, okay, well, I see what they're doing. I want to be a person that contribute to what they're doing to help them out. But then on the other hand, you have some people that talk a good talk, and when it comes to walking and showing the fruit, they're not able to do that. All they're able to do is give you a nice little mouthpiece, a nice little statement, and a couple of words to soothe you over and never give you anything. And we fall into that trap because they're able to talk good, but they're not able to live good and actually show us something. They're able to talk good, but not actually able to live good. So the fruit that they show us, we never see it. But we always listening and we think it because they make us feel some type of way, but they never show us anything. So a lot of us get trapped in that because it looks good. They look like they my friend. They look like they rooting for me, but they talking about me behind my back. They're really plotting on a way that I can't come up. And we don't look at that. Because have you ever had those people around that when they needed a ride, you there for them? When they ever needed money, you're there for them. Anything that they need you to be there, you there for them. But then when it come your time, here come the excuses. Well, I wasn't able to. And see, they'll make an excuse to make it seem like when they give you the excuse, it seems like when they give you the excuse, it seems like it's valid. They'll make it seem like it's valid. Oh, well, man, I can't come pick you up, man. My car broke down. The car might be broke down, or their car might be broke down, but their wife car not broke down. Man, I would give you the money, but man, I just spent the money on this, man. I just got the, it's always excuse that come up when it's time to help you. Yeah, that person. Have you ever dealt with somebody that loved your energy but hated your growth? They didn't want to see you come up. As long as you were stuck in the same spot, they was okay with it. They was cool with you being at this spot because they made them feel comfortable until you started elevating and you started doing things they wanted to distance themselves from you because now you acting funny. Or they even try to sabotage what you doing and start lying to other people to say, oh man, well, yeah, he kind of did this, but not. Yeah, those are the ones. The ones that we done already let in our heart, we done let them get so close to know so many things about them because we didn't take the time out to really discern what type of person they are or really look at what they offered within a relationship. Because you can be friends with somebody for years and they never did anything for the relationship, never did anything for you, never looked out for you, nothing. And see, besides that, this is what I really want to get to today is the circumstances. A lot of times we focus so much on the people and watching people, which we need to do, absolutely. But sometimes those circumstances can sneak in and we think that they small and innocent and they end up turning to something that it's difficult for us to either stop or quit doing. See, life has a way of dressing up something that's destructive and making it look like an opportunity, right? So just say the fast money. Like when people was selling a lot of drugs, like the crack era, people was selling weed or whatever the case, pills, whatever the choice of drugs is out there, they just selling drugs, getting that fast money, even if they out there scheming. Yeah, it look good. It looked like a grand opportunity for me to come up. But in the long run, a lot of people paid not only with their life, but in their life in both ways. They went to jail 20, 30 years. They done missed out children, grandchildren, graduation, birth of some of their children that they never saw in their life. Like, they missed out on a lot of that. just because the opportunity looked like it presented itself as an opportunity. But in hindsight, it was something to trap you and keep you and make you lose years of your life. And we like, dang, man, that was a good opportunity, but it wasn't. And sometimes we get caught in a good opportunity because at that moment we might need some money at that time. And all of us have been in that situation where we needed some money and we thought about doing something and we looked at it as an opportunity and it was like, dang, it ain't turned out the way that we wanted it to turn out. Because in that moment we was thinking like, okay, let's go ahead, get this done. I got this. I get this money, I get all my bills, I get whatever I need to be taken care of, I can get it taken care of. And then all of a sudden we in a situation, you know, and not only that, just think about this. Relationships, right? Relationships. You in love, you got this toxic love, man. You got this crazy girl, slim waist, pretty in her face, everything. But you think she this type of person till the mask actually come off. Till you got 2 kids by her, she don't want you to see them. Now you're on child support. So what may have seemed like, dang man, she was really that wolf that was waiting in the till she got you hooked, sinked her teeth in you. After she done sink your teeth into you, now you're like, dang man. Can't see my kids. She lying to people like I'm a deadbeat dad. You just study going through the cycle and you're like, dang, man. But sometimes we don't get a chance to see that and it snuck up on us so quick because we lustful in our heart. We have a desire in our heart and we just the lust now overtook us and we was too blind to see what was down the road. And I'm not saying like I'm above that or anybody's above that. Man, things like that happen. I'm just saying for you younger guys, man, be careful to control your lust. Not be careful to control your lust because your lust will put you in a situation, put you in a predicament that you'll be paying for the rest of your life, financially and mentally as well. Because you don't know who you having kids by, and you don't know what type of character that person is going to be after y'all had them children together. Then what you think is really love. Then what you think is really love, man, it turns into manipulation, control, and heartbreak. And that's something that you ain't ever signed up for. You know? So that's why I say discernment is big and you have to watch for these type of wolves. That's another one right here. Overworking, right? And now, this one right here is kind of tricky, right? Because the overworking dude, you trying to provide, you trying to be a provider, you trying to make sure that your family is taken care of. But sometimes when you overwork, not only you don't look out for your health, you miss out on time with your children, and then your peace of mind. Missing out with your family, your health, and your peace of mind. See, sometimes the money can come in and you be doing good and everything, and you miss out on a lot of things with your children. Now, let me say this, because like I said, this is a tricky one. Sometimes you're going to miss stuff trying to provide, but I'm talking about you blatantly missing stuff when you could take off work because you thinking that I don't have enough money to sacrifice this moment to be with my family. That's what I'm talking about. Or you working so much you can see your back messed up. You can see the doctor done went to you and say you might need to find another job or you might need to relax a little bit and lay out. Instead of doing that, you study going until you get some bad news. You study pushing until you can't no more. Until you actually in the hospital or you actually got to have surgery. Then you got to sit down for a couple of months. Then you got to sit down or leave that job alone. You know, or just messing with your mental to the point you wake up every morning, you don't want to go to work. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. I just got to do it right now. Maybe, I'm just saying, this, I'm not trying to give any type of advice, no type of professional advice or nothing like that. All I'm saying is like, you might want to take a couple of days off. You might get off early one day, early one day, get you some rest, get you some time to think about things or what your next step is going to be. Because just be honest, some of the money you might be making, you might can't make that at another job. You might can't do something else. You probably have to pray to see, hey man, Lord, what can I do now? How can I do this now? How should I move now? Because I see I got this money, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. But at the same time, you might want to just scale back because that could be one of those wolves that's coming to take over your life by overworking and taking you totally out the equation to the point where your kids get up old and be like, I don't remember doing nothing with daddy. No, he paid for everything, but what did he teach me? What did he show me? I know he worked a lot. He was just tired, came in, eat, went to bed. What else did he teach me? You see what I'm saying? So it's a balance, guys. And I'm even guilty of overworking. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a lot of times I overworked and I had to take off a little bit just to rest, you know. But I understand. But that's one of the things. And another thing I want to talk about is like, man, the habits, man. I got this right here in my notes. Little things that seem harmless. That one drink after work, that one website you visit when nobody's watching. Y'all know that website. That one negative thought you entertain when you're tired. Those are the wolves in sheep's clothing too. Because look at this. First, they look like just a release, relaxation, something to use that I got to cope with the day or what I'm going through, you know. Just start off something small. It don't even seem that significant, right? It don't even seem that important. It don't even seem like something that you need to be bothered about, right? Until that one drink turned into two drinks after work. Watching that website turn from I'm gonna just this one time a month, now it's one time a week. Then it's daily. Then it's twice a day. You study building up an appetite, then it slowly seeps in. It slowly seeps in. So a lot of time a wolf, when they going after their prey, they don't just run to the sheep. The wolves don't just rush up to their prey. They kind of sneak in and get as close as they can before the sheep sense them. Get as close as I can before I attack. And before you know it, you got a porn addiction. Before you know it, you're an alcoholic. Before you know it, you got a drug addiction. And then I got this right here. No, but over time, these things sink their teeth into you, and suddenly you're bound by something you never thought would control you. Then you look up 10, 15 years later dealing with something that's bigger than it could be. Simply because it started small. Now you got to deal with it. These are the small things that we do that all of a sudden sink in. Just say if you're scrolling on social media, that's one of the big things too. Before you know it, you get off work, you got stuff to do, man. You got a business that you need to build, or you running a business. You got stuff you need to do with your children, and stuff you got to do around the house. You got responsibilities that you need to get done. Before you know it, you look at your screen time, you done been on there, oh, it's 5 hours gone by. I'm just scrolling. Going in between social media, going to YouTube, just going in between different platforms. Going in between different platforms and wasting more and more time, getting you away from your destiny, getting you away from really what you're here for. And so that's the plan. That's how the sheep come in, conceal your time, take your time away from you, take your ambition away from you, sink your teeth in, and then you have to take time to fight all this stuff off to build back up. And this right here, 2 Corinthians 11:14. For Satan himself masquerade as an angel of light. That means not everything that shine is from God. Not every door that open was meant for you to walk through. Some are traps dressed up as opportunities. And I need us to hear this. Discernment is not an option, it's survival. It's survival. It is. And so I got a couple of things here I got wrote down on a couple of ways that we can spot a wolf. Just a couple of ways we can spot a wolf. First, through prayer and patience. Wolves hate waiting because their disguise can't hold up forever. If you give them time, the truth always shows itself. We be in a rush if it's to sleep with women, if it's to pleasure ourselves, if that's drinking, smoking, porn. We be so focused on pleasuring ourselves, sometimes we don't take the time to think a situation out, and we'll be caught up with some child support, be caught up with a disease, we be caught up with a drug habit because we don't have the patience and we don't want to pray. Now, let me say this. Man, this flesh right here will always keep you on the edge. Especially if you done had sex with different women or you done watched porn before. That's something that you going to fight with. But you're going to have to fight. You see what I'm saying? But the prayer and patience is one of the ways that you can start to identify and start to pull away from those things, right? Those a couple of, and then that's number one. Number two. Second, inspect the fruit. Don't just ask, does it look good? Ask, does it produce good? Is this bringing me closer to God, closer to peace, closer to my purpose? Or is it draining me, distracting me, and destroying me? You ask those questions about what you're dealing with. Is that social media bringing me closer to God? Is that side piece bringing me closer to God? Is that getting me closer to my destiny, the things that I am doing that's burning up my time? That friendship, is it getting me closer to God? Or every time I see this person, they are taking me in a different direction to waste my time, get me away from my purpose, and get me off what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Are they doing it? Is it distracting me? Is it draining me? Those situations. Think about that. Think about that. Ask yourself that. Is that draining me? Number three, seek accountability. Get wise counsel. Talk to people who can see what you can't. Sometimes you're too close to the sheep's clothing to notice the wolf underneath. Sometimes you're too close to notice somebody. Sometimes you're too in love to notice somebody. Sometimes you're too drunk to notice that. Sometimes you're too high to notice that. And let's be honest, when somebody point out something we doing wrong and we don't want to let it go, you get an attitude, that's when you know you got a problem. I'm going to tell you that off bat. If somebody point out something to you and you grab an attitude or you get defensive about it, hey man, it's something wrong there. You might want to look into the mirror, because when people used to point out when I was drinking, not only drinking, but some of the things that I was doing wrong, and they pointed out, it's like them pushing against an area that I have a cut or I have a wound, and they start to push. You know, when somebody trying to push something, if you got an injury, you trying to stop, move their hand, and you don't want them to touch that area. Leave that alone. That's how you know you got a problem in that area, and you need to take some accountability. Seek some accountability. Make sure that you holding yourself accountable, saying, okay, I got this wrong. I'm doing something wrong over here. Let me get myself together. Because sometimes we can do wrong and our mind will be like, don't even worry about it. And you keep digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole. So you have to either find somebody that can call you out on your mess, or you need to call yourself out on your mess. You need to start to motivate yourself and pull yourself up out that hole. You definitely need to pray. Don't get me wrong. God gonna be there, but you gonna have to do something too in order for God to do what he need to do. All right. My last one. Listen to your peace. If your spirit is restless, if your peace keep disturbing you, that's a sign. God uses peace as confirmation, and and if it keeps disappearing, maybe it's because you petting a wolf in disguise. Maybe because you petting a wolf in disguise. See, you can have a friend that every time they come around, they get on your nerves, right? They get on your nerves. You love them to death, but every time they come around, it's always something going wrong. Certain people go around. Every time they come around, it's something going wrong. They just disturbing your peace, man. You get up, you get ready to go to this job. You're like, oh my Jesus. Every time I get here, this going on, this going on. A lot of people go out into entrepreneurship and they stressed out every day thinking about how they're going to make money because they want to uphold an image on social media. They out here struggling instead of sucking up their pride, just working a job to get back where they need to be. They rather struggle in silence and in pain than give anybody the pleasure to let them know, well, I'm back working a 9 to 5. Yep. And they don't have any peace. They're having sleepless nights. Some people having sleepless nights, not able to pay their bills. And don't get me wrong, like, it takes time and it takes work to get to a place, right? So if I'm having a situation, I'm going to start to pray. Not only I'm going to start to pray, I'm going to start to put a plan in action to change my circumstances. I'm going to start to put a plan in action to take steps to put me in a better job or mentally to get myself together. What I need to work on to get to a better place. So yes, if it's disturbing your peace, hey man, clean it up. And so, let me say this. God doesn't want us to be walking in fear. He wants us to be walking in wisdom. God don't want you to be paranoid. He wants you to be prepared. He wants you to be sharp. He wants you to be aware. He wants you to be sharp. He wants you to be aware. And let me read this real quick. John 10:27 says, my sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. That means if you stay close to the shepherd, you will recognize his voice. And when you know his voice, you won't fall to the wolf's tricks. So, man, we have to stay close to God because not only myself, I'm going to speak for me. You know, not y'all. I'm going to speak for me. But I have fell victim to a wolf. I have fell victim to wolves over my life. It has happened. But one thing I'll say, man, you just have to bounce back. You still have to move forward and continue to get a better relationship with God, man. You know, get a better relationship with him. Once you start getting a better relationship with him, and he can guide you in the right direction. So, I'm going to leave y'all with this, and I'm going to be out your hair. Before you sign that contract, before you jump on that opportunity, stop and ask, is this really a sheep, or am I staring into the eyes of a wolf wearing sheep clothing? All right? Because it's easier to recognize the wolf before you let it into the pasture than it is to try to fight it once it's already in. All right? So, also I'm going to tell y'all this, family. Wolves in sheep clothing aren't just fairy tales. They are real. They show up in people. They show up in people, yes. But they also show up in circumstances, habits, and so-called opportunities. Don't be fooled by the disguise. Don't be fooled by the appearance. Be led by discernment, by wisdom, and by the voice of God. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all want to hit me up after this, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Real Men Talk Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. If this message right here touch you in any type of way, please share this with somebody that could possibly help them, or somebody that you might think that be going through something that this message could help them. All right. Appreciate y'all. Till next time. Peace.